So, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics fucking podcast. I'm always quite happy to be here and to start the episode and to do the episode because I kind of feel like, okay, I'm doing something good also for other people. And this is something that's very, very important for me. It's not only because I like what I'm doing, which is, definitely the thing, then I just wouldn't do as much as I would do now, but I also kind of think like, okay, I'm actually producing something other could benefit from it. And this is a feeling that's totally great, and this is not a feeling of selfishness. But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, or you had a wonderful day, whatever, whether it's in the morning for you or whether it's, in the afternoon for you. Yeah, I hope you're doing good, and we will go ahead with Never Eat Alone by oh, what the fuck? What is this guy always called? I don't know them all the time. And there's only a little bit left, so therefore we will just go through this summary only for a little bit, and then we will switch to another one, which I quite unfortunately didn't find before this episode, so I just was searching for it, but I couldn't just make up my mind to just really choose something that sounded for me not too familiar and something that I haven't gone through already. And this is always just very, very difficult for me because I even don't know how much books that I've actually kind of talked about. Yeah, okay, maybe 100 and yeah, okay, maybe 100, I think. No, it couldn't be maybe 50 or 60 or 70, something like this. So between 50 and 70 books at my point of view, or book summaries. So this is quite a lot, or even let's say 40. Let's say 50. 50 just seems to be pretty accurate. So because I just, often made some kind of like 5 episodes or 4 episodes even. I think even 4 episodes was the biggest amount of episodes that I made for one singular book. But yeah, so Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi is the book that we will go through for a little bit today. It's only, I think, three points. Yeah, it's not that much, unfortunately. I kind of had to stop the last time because I felt like, okay, when I'm doing this too much, when I'm talking too much, when I'm just, podcasting or whatever you want to call it, when I'm doing this too much, I kind of get very, not upset, but yeah, how should I say? Never mind. So it doesn't feel too good for me, and it feels like for me to actually forcing myself to go through the things and actually just, being like, the faster I'm going through it, the better it is for me. And this is actually not what I want to give to you. This is the whole problem about it. I just want you to learn something from the things that I'm talking about, from the things that I'm preparing here. And if I just go through them like as quick as possible, this is nothing that you can benefit from. This is something that will totally fuck you up and fuck me up as well after I've just, took the time to actually go through these things and, just did it in such a bad way instead of taking a little more time to actually do it in a way better way. So part 6, trading up and giving back, brand. And brand, first of all, before I just even read what he is saying, brand is something that's pretty important. I think especially nowadays where there are so many brands, so many companies, that these brands that have the best branding or that just have the best kind of image, they just really benefit from the whole branding thing. Because at my point of view, some years ago, okay, maybe a few years ago, a lot of years ago, and there weren't too much brands, or not at least as much as we have today. And therefore just buying grocery, there was maybe, I don't know, one butter and one milk or one yogurt or whatever. And nowadays we have just 5 and 6 and 7 in different colors and different just tastes and whatever. This is just something that I kind of feel like that all this branding and all these big brands just really have benefited from because they have their monopoly quite. If this is a just pretty good brand, like for example, I think Coca-Cola has something like a monopoly in the whole soft drink world, I would say, because not too many. Yeah, in Europe, I have to say, in Europe, I can't talk about America or the United States at least, because there are just a lot more other soft drinks and a lot more other beverages in general, which we do not have. And so Ferrazzi stresses the importance of building your own brand. A personal brand does 3 important things. Provides and provides an identity that is trustworthy and credible. And this is one of the points that I think this is just very good, that I'm actually building my personal brand as well, because I kind of feel like, and this is, I think, even something that I've talked about yesterday as well, the thing is, every single fucking celebrity has their own perfume and or their own hotel, even like, Cristiano Ronaldo, and or just their own shoes, their own clothing brand, their own beauty brand, and so on and so on and so on. And why they have something? Because they can. Something like this, because they can. They have the ability to do this because people are trusting them. They are, credible, and they are trustworthy. And so people will actually buy these things because, they have such an audience or such a community. They totally should be a big community if they actually have an own brand. And they will actually buy it. And this is just totally great for a new company or a new product to start with, to actually having a community behind your back that actually will buy your products no matter what. And it sends a message to your contacts totally, and attracts more people to you and allows you to stand out. Definitely. In creating your own personal brand, the first thing you need to do is develop a personal branding message, something that people will think of when they hear your name. Next, you need to work on your image. Remember that we all are visual people, so you need to look professional. Next, you need to get your message and brand out there. Everyone needs to know about you and what you stand for. Ferrazzi explains that you need to be your own PR representative, manage your own media, and know the market. I think especially nowadays we all are our own PR managers or representatives or whatever, because through social media and through the whole social media and web space, we all got just really kind of exposed. I think it's just something that totally Gary Vee also says, and maybe this is just the reason why I also just will tell it to you right now. But the thing is, social media that didn't change us, and neither did the internet or the web or whatever. And it really just exposed our true self, because now we have the ability to be very anonymous and just be ourselves, and nobody basically would just know us, because there are so many people out there. And even though you're just making an Instagram page or creating an Instagram page, a lot of people wouldn't know you, because you're just one out of nearly 8 billion, and this is quite a lot. And so some will know you maybe because they're just some kind of suddenly from your village or from your town, and they just just know you, and they will maybe just hit you up or whatever. But at the end, we all have the ability to just be ourselves and be the way we want to be. It's and this is also one of the problems, that we actually can just fake everything. We can just took photos of us just sitting in nice cars, having nice girls around us or nice boys around us, and this definitely just makes us being seen as different as in the real world, because in the real world we do not have this nice watch, we do not have these just really beautiful people, we do not have these cars and whatever, and this is also one of the problems, that the whole faking world got exposed as well, and or just gets, I think, even just a little bit motivated to actually do this, because as I said, we have the ability and the opportunity, and everything is so easy. Power. Ferrazzi explains that you need to make sure you are reaching out to the right kind of people. People who have a power, are influential, and will be able to make a difference in your life. He calls this power by association. There's nothing wrong with looking for ways to spend time with people who have accomplished more and have more wisdom than you. Once you put yourself in position to connect with the famous and powerful, the key is not to feel as if you're undeserving or an imposter. You are a star in your own right, with your own accomplishments, and you have a whole lot to give to the world. This is something very important in my point of view, and this is incredible valuable message, because I kind of feel like there are a lot of famous people out there. There are a lot of people that are just commonly known, and just a lot of people know them. And the thing is, I do just feel like and or are successful, and do just feel like if people then come up to them, they just really feel like, okay, they're not as much worth as the very successful people or the very famous people, even though it's not the same. You could also be very successful, but in another way. You could also be famous in another way. You could also be just a very great person just in another way. It doesn't have to be like this, only because our society just, looks at these people as being, or these maybe rich people or these famous people as successful, or, whatever you want to call them. But you can make yourself an own just interpretation or definition for what success, first of all, is like. And so however important it is to reach out to powerful people, it is just as important to maintain your current relationships. Don't let someone who is more powerful make you forget the people who have been helping you for years. Every connection you make is important. It is a great idea to find a powerful and influential person to be a mentor to you. Ferrazzi believes that having a mentor can be really beneficial, and it is also important to have your own mentees. So if you take mentoring seriously and give it the time and energy it deserves, you will soon find yourself involved in a brilliant learning network. You will be the recipient of more information and more goodwill than you ever imagined, as you play the role of both master and apprentice in a powerful constellation of people, all simultaneously teaching and being taught. Totally. But I do just think about mentorship in just really, two-sided ways. First of all, I kind of think like it is totally great. And for me, it feels like this is something that a lot of people could actually benefit from, in terms of actually just, giving them some kind of boost and some kind of a boost for their start in, the business world or whole self-development world, for example. This is just something that, could help a lot of people. But on the other side, I also feel like, okay, this is also something that's, that hasn't have to be good for everyone. Totally not, because we're all individuals, and the whole generalization shit is just pissing me on. And so therefore I just, have to kind of keep attention to what I'm saying and to not doing it. But I think it also has negative ways, because you're just, putting this certain person's opinion on such a high position. And even though, you just feel like maybe, okay, I have to do this, if you want it or not, it is always, okay, it's obviously you just will have to do something that you didn't want to do initially, but maybe it's just also something that you just deeply know that it is not going to just get you further to your goal. And this is then, I think, the problem, because if you have a mentor, you do just have to just, first of all, appreciate them, because it's just popping up in my mind, and you have to just, do what they are asking you to do, or that what they want you to do, because then, or instead, the whole just, the whole framework would work, or the whole framework would be just, useless. Because if you just do your own shit and do whatever you want to do, just anyways, you do not have to, or you do not need a mentor. You could do this on your own as well. But I think in general, it always, in terms of these two sides, it always, comes up to, whom you have as a mentor. If it's really a person that is very, very, just has the same mindset as you're having, and therefore the whole bad side could just fall apart and, go away quite. And or it's just, a mentor, will just give you knowledge, but in terms of emotionally and in terms of kind of emotional intelligence, some kind of he's not doing it right, and you kind of feel like, okay, you can't learn from him. But it always comes up to who this is, to who this person is, but I do think most of the great people had a mentor, and it totally helped them to just get further in their career and get further in their life. So therefore, maybe you just should just maybe even work for a people or work for a person you just really admire or really like the work of. So this would also be some kind of a mentor. But the most important part for me is that you actually give them back something as well. So if it's, I wouldn't say money, because if you just give them money for being your mentor, it's like, I don't know, it's just not a real relationship. And it quite, for me, feels like, okay, this is not something that's like, a mentor and mentee. This is just something that's, a bought kind of service. And this is, for me at least, doesn't have anything to do with being a mentor, even though a lot of people have such services also in the YouTube world, or also in the, other worlds, in the business world in general. So I don't know. I just think of the real mentor just in a real, just traditional way as someone you just met or someone you just worked for, and then they just got your mentor and just teach you everything they knew, and then you surpass them. Maybe it's definitely one of my fantasies, I think. But yeah, so but I won't say that you shouldn't just buy or shouldn't just pay for a mentor program, because this also could just really benefit you, just if you have the money. So let's go to the conclusion and the key takeaways. It is important to be prepared when meeting new people, when meeting new people, and you should definitely do your research. And this is totally true at my point of view, because actually having a great conversation, letting them talk a little bit more than you actually talking, and just keeping the whole conversation up to a certain level so that it is not boring and it kind of benefits everyone. And I think this is just a very just not easy, but it's more simple if you just know this person or know a little bit about this person, so that you can actually kind of ask better questions in terms of actually letting them engage a little bit more, because your questions are such in their field or whatever. Always be networking. Yeah, if you want to. I think it could be great. Not every person is just like, yeah, I want to network or whatever. And a lot of people, I think, are actually like, okay, I do not want other people to just, be around me. I want to do it on my own. I maybe have my family. I don't know, there are such a lot of factors to being successful or having a happy life. And, if success is some part of your happiness, then it's, somehow correlated in a different way. Don't keep score. This is actually something that I pretty enjoyed that he actually pointed it out, if it's even the thing that I'm just thinking about. I think it's like you shouldn't actually concentrate too much on the things you want to achieve. Because it's the same thing as if you're waiting for something, and if you're just looking at your watch or at any clock all the fucking time, the whole time seems to be very slow and will just go away so slowly that you feel like, okay, this will never end, this time period, and you will never get your, I don't know, whatever you want, and so on and so on. I think this could totally be the same thing with success and just being successful, and whatever goals you have could actually be the same, because if you're just focusing on them so much, you can just feel every single step you're taking towards a certain goal. And if it's a big enough goal, this could actually just make you a little bit sad as well, because you can just see, okay, I'm progressing too slow, and it might even cripple you. It is not about what people can do for you, but what you can do for them. Very important. Conferences are important not for the keynote speakers, but for the people who are attending the conference. Work on the art of small talk, actually pretty important, I think, because often, every single just conversation starts with small talk or ends with small talk, at my point of view, or just, I kind of feel like it or feel like saying it. So therefore, having a great skill in small talk and just also just keeping this conversation at a higher level of interest and engagement on both sides could actually just really contribute your relationship and also the whole outcoming of this whole conversation. So aim to be interesting, leave people wanting more, stay in touch with your contacts. Actually, a good one is just a following up, or no, it's a follow-up message, like something like, okay, you will just message them after you have met them because it was such an incredible meeting or such an incredible engagement, or you had such an incredible talk with them, and so you just totally send them a message or an email or whatever you just feel like the most convenient with, and just to show them, okay, you cared about the whole conversation. You should even point out maybe some things you have been talking about, or just point out what you have just liked the most, so that they actually can see, okay, you just still know what you were talking about with this certain person, or with me, or with him, in whatever position you're just thinking about it. But yeah, create your own personal brand, follow up after you have met someone within 24 hours, find a mentor and have your own mentees, and reach out to powerful and influential people. And the last point, or last bullet point, there is no text actually. So maybe there is something, I don't know. And maybe, we go to action steps, and then we will go ahead with the further readings, I think. And then the episode is just really, just really long already. I do hope that I might even can start with a new book. I might even scroll through a lot of books and just see what I'm going to talk about the next time. I could do this, yeah, actually. So download the complete book on Amazon. Totally great all the time because, as they're already, is typed, this summary is not intended as a replacement for the original book, and all quotes are credited to the above mentioned author and publisher. So assess your current network. Who else can you reach out to? Yeah, actually, this is something that's very important for me as well, because I feel like people always seem to just, want something new, want something from, quite, the other half of the room, and they do not just see that there is something in front of them that is actually so valuable and they can actually use already. And maybe they just don't have to wait for the other just thing to come, and so on and so on and so on. And what I want to say is that it's actually quite the same with all the technical things that you might need for your business. So, as you know, I'm just talking into my fucking phone. My phone is my microphone and just works pretty well, I would say. I do not have any light setups. I'm privileged with a MacBook, which I do have for school that I'm attending right now, which is, I'm quite, very, very, grateful for having it, because I think I wouldn't be able to do it so good and in such an incredible, amount of time that, without these things that I'm already having. But I literally do not have all the things, the really famous and, good, if you wanted to call them good, YouTubers have. So I do not have any fancy lights. I quite don't have anything. I have a phone, I have a laptop, and I have a second display, so that I actually am a little bit in the light, or that I'm actually a little bit brighter than usually, because actually just see. Because without any light, I would just really be so dark, and it wouldn't be just, too nice for you. So yeah, just, start with the things that you're having, and just then in the whole meeting or whole process, you can buy something else. And this is just exactly the same way that I'm going with. Maybe I would just have a few more watchers, and then I would be able to actually contact some firms that actually produce microphones. And then I would just totally get myself a microphone, or just I buy myself if I just, earn some money with what I'm doing right now. And this is quite my whole plan. I want to start with, the least amount of money that's possible. I have quite nothing spent on this whole thing, actually only $2, because I wanted to see if the Facebook ads actually worked that well. Kind of worked that well, so I just got for $2, 1004. It was actually $1.98. Or actually not really the same, because it was €1.98, which is $1.60 I think. I just once calculated it. But I just, I was able to reach 1,000 people, which was, incredible for me, because €2 or €2 is such an incredible, just such a small amount of money, and you can still just reach 1,000 people, and you could just totally make these $2, make them again, so that you're actually just making a profit out of it, if you're just, selling a product or whatever. And I just do really understand now why a lot of people just say, okay, you should just really use the online and or social media advertising things or advertising possibilities, because they actually are good. They are great. You can do a lot with them, and I actually got, I think, 50 results. So actually, I think 50 people who actually got to my profile or whatever they did. I don't know. But you can actually pay for the clicks. You can actually pay for downloads, and the algorithm of Facebook, I think, is just totally doing its job, and it's doing its job in a great way, especially also for Instagram, which is also one of the things I think Instagram, just really got value from Facebook and through the whole buying thing, so that they actually can contribute of this whole, great algorithm that, Facebook developers just produced, or work on the art of small talk and consider finding a mentor or being a mentor. Yeah, totally. I think quite everybody could be a mentor yet, because could be a mentor, so not couldn't be, definitely could be, because everybody knows something some other people don't know, and I would even consider this as mentor as well, and having a mentee. If you just know certain things, this person doesn't know yet, and you just teach them and show them how this is working and how this is doing, whether it's in terms of maths or it's in terms of business or it's in terms of, I don't know, there are quite a lot of things. So I think there are quite a lot of mentors outside there, or just teachers, if you want to call them like this, if you just want to call them like this, if you just want them to call them like this, okay? Yeah, my voice is a little fucked. I'm very sorry for that. I hope this isn't quite bothering you, but I'm doing my best to keep as any kind of fluid in my fucking mouth so that it's not just so sore. So if you enjoyed reading about how to deal with other people, then definitely check out How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. The principles in the book are simple, but something a lot of us fail to use or remember. This book will help you to convince people to your way of thinking, avoid arguments, and become more likely, or more liked, or likelier, or whatever this is actually called. So if you're in a leadership or sales type role, I strongly recommend this book. Totally great. I've read it. One of my favorite books, totally one of my favorite books. Just an incredible read. It's actually one of the books that I would recommend for any single person. I always say people, what the fuck? I would suggest to every single person to just go through. So if you're a leader, it is also worth checking out Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek. Actually also a book that I've been going through on this channel as well. The same thing with How to Win Friends and Influence People, even though, which is the just fucked up part about it, there's nothing ever just saying, okay, I'm talking about how to win friends and influence people, and so therefore searching for the whole episode won't go, as well as, the other few episodes that I've done in the, recent times, where I've actually always put, in the description, at least in the description, what I'm talking about, which is, I think, very contributing to people who are actually searching for content that they're interested in. So, so this book is ideal for anyone who leads, whether it be a small team, an entire organization, a community, or a family. As a leader, it is important to create a culture that leaves everyone happy and fulfilled, and this is extremely what Simon describes. Simon emphasizes that when an environment is built on trust, teams will work together, have each other's back, survive, and thrive. Then I will just, leave out the guidelines book, because this is actually the book from the author of this article and or summary, and I will just go through it, as the really last one. And The Art of People, which is actually also a book that I've gone through on this channel, but also I think haven't been typing it anywhere, so you can't actually you could find it, but yeah, you could definitely find it if you go through every single episode that I've made until now, but this is totally a work nobody wants to do. So The Art of People is a guide written by Dave Kerben on how to manage some of the most important people and relationships in your life. Kern emphasized that people matter. They matter more than anything in managing your job and or career, life, and relationships. People can make all the difference between an average life and a great life. Totally. And last but pretty much least, Guidelines, which is the book of the author, which summarizes 33 of not actually 33, because the author just really underestimated himself on this one, because it's actually I think 44 or 43 actually, so 10 more. Actually all of them would have cost $300 if I remember correctly, and this one actually costs 16 or 17 or 18, something in that range, so definitely under $20, and you get a lot of value for that. It's an 80-page ebook and 115-minute audiobook, with 31 rules of all these 43 or 33, whatever it is, books. So if you're interested in it, check it out. And this is just at least the thing that I can do for this one, who is actually always bringing me all these great summaries on his website. yeah, actually just finished the episode quite. This is also great. I'm very sorry that I wasn't maybe that much or that energetic today, and talking didn't went that well today as well. So I hope that all my sore voice didn't bother you that much. Yeah, I also hope that everything is good at your place, that you're feeling incredibly nice. I would definitely invite you to check out my last motivational speech, which is or which was quite the first motivational speech I had, and yeah, it very pretty much got a pretty nice video, to be honest, and to not really just kind of tell myself that I'm so good, but I'm actually kind of proud of it, that I actually just managed to do it in such a great way and to just make it in such an emotional way. And yeah, I do hope a lot of people just like to go through it. Maybe I'll just see the resonance of the other people and just make another one, which is totally a fun work to do, or was totally a fun work to do. But yeah, so yeah, I hope you just kind of look at your legacy and you giving back to the people, which is always important. And you just have to remember this, please. So giving back to people is important, and watching your legacy. So just knowing how people will remember you if you're gone one day is also a thing that I think just people should think about a little bit more. So yeah, this would totally just change up how they actually act and what they're doing in their lives, and how they act and how they just pretty much treat other people. And I do hope you get your success, your wealth, your health, your happiness, and wealth, health, happiness, and wealth, health, happiness, and success. Yeah. And I'll see you the next time. And thank you for watching and or listening. I see you. I love you. And yeah.